So this story starts out on 420. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia was on that night, and I knew that it was going to be a good fight, but I had to go play backup quarterback in the 7-on-7 tournament that day. So I went and competed in the 7-on-7 tournament, and I had to do the QB challenge, and let me tell you, I was always the underdog in sports. I was athletic, I wasn't tall, and I wasn't muscular. The only score I really had was I had a really good work ethic according to my coaches, but back to the story. So the QB challenge I was doing consisted of hitting a receiver on each side of the field, and then the final challenge was to throw it as far as you can. So I go out there and miss the first throw on the left, and I actually make the other throw on the right. I then had to throw it as far as I could, and the people before me were throwing like 50 plus, and I couldn't throw the ball far. So I was only really good for like mid to short throws, but I threw the ball maybe around 30 yards. So I was off to a bad start in this tournament. I probably got last place, and I still had to throw the ball in actual games. I went to the first 7-on-7 game, and the QB who started got us a big lead, and I got put in, and I ended up throwing 2 back-to-back picks. Coach chewed me out for obviously throwing 2 picks and making them lose the game. By the end of the tournament, I threw maybe around 4 picks and not a single touchdown. Then what made it even worse for me was my family coming to watch me just for me to play horribly. So here I was, with no confidence in football, a sport I used to love growing up. So I go home and I start contemplating if football was still the sport for me. But then out of nowhere, my friend Mike hits me up.
Yo, you down to watch the Haney versus Garcia fight tonight, bro? It's gonna be crazy.
Sure, bro.
Alright, bet, bro. Let me know.
So I get up out of my bed, I ask my parents, and they say yes. So my friend Angelo comes and picks me up and takes me to my friend's house. And to give some context, me and this guy Rigo would always fight. I don't even know why we would do this, but we would do this all the time. But I think, from what I can recall, it was that me and him were the weakest kids back then, and nobody wanted to have the title of being the weakest kid, so I made sure to beat him every time. But when we got to my friend's house, they were supposedly playing football in the backyard, so you already know I had to show them my football skills after the horrible experience I just had that day.
This is the real football, bro.
Not gonna lie, I started playing soccer with them, and yes, I call it soccer instead of football before people get into an argument with me. But there is nothing else for me to do, honestly, except play soccer. But I see Rigo, and me and him start getting hella physical. We're over here pushing each other and stuff. Like if there was a soccer ref present at the time, he probably would have pulled a red card faster than the time it takes for me to throw a pick. But when me and him start getting physical, everyone starts saying we should box it out. And at first, I'm hesitant because I think it's just a waste of time. But soon, I came into the idea of boxing him. But I have no knowledge of boxing, and Rigo has been practicing somewhat with Mike, so I was again the underdog in this matchup. My friends split into teams, and there are 3 coaches on each team for each fighter. So we have 20 minutes to warm up, and my 3 coaches just wanted to at least get my jab down for the fight. I couldn't jab to save my life, so the coaches just said to throw as many punches and hope for the best. So me and Rigo hop in the ring in the garage. We had like walk-on music and everything too, but the bell rings and we touch gloves. And I'm over here throwing as many punches as I can with like my eyes closed, and I actually knocked him down, but I tripped on his leg when he fell. But when I got up, I was surprised to see Rigo was knocked out cold.
Is he dead?
Like, have you seen those videos when the other guy gets a lucky hit right on the chin and then the guy just knocks out cold? That's what basically happened to Rigo, but my team hyped me up because I actually knocked him down. We got pizza afterwards while watching the Garcia vs. Haney fight, and Rigo all of a sudden wakes up and we all told him the news. But bro was out of it, so we called his mom and sent him home.
Your son got knocked out.
No te entendí ni verga, no sé inglés.
Bruh.
Then while all of that was happening, I was thinking if boxing should be the sport I should try now after not being too bad at it. Fast forward 2 months, and I ended up being the backup quarterback for JV, and I made the decision to quit. And it was tough for me because I spent the past few years working on being a quarterback. But I was finally able to join the boxing gym. So I joined the boxing gym in my area, and my first day goes like this. So I walk in, and all I see is a little kid in the corner doing his hand wraps, and I'm going to suppose the coach's wife because she was the one who opened the gym. Then the coach's wife all of a sudden says to put your hand wraps on. Damn it, I don't know how to put my hand wraps on. Hey, is this how you put your hand wraps on?
Look at this dude.
I looked over at the little kid, and he was putting his hand wraps on like it was nothing. I ended up walking up to him, and he helped me get my hand wraps on, and I asked him for his name, and he said his name was Miguel, which is Pretty common name I've heard a lot. But right as he got my hand wraps on, the coach walked in. The coach asked who I was. I told him I was a beginner, and he taught me the basics of boxing. But the one thing he kept telling me was to keep my hands up. But at one point, it was like the 10th time of him saying that. Yeah, the coach slapped me. But like, I would always see videos of things like this on like Instagram, but nah. The coach for real slapped me, and I just pretended like nothing ever happened. Because like, what am I supposed to do? I can't beat him up because I know literally nothing, and he is the one teaching me on how to fight. But I went on with the rest of practice, and I actually ended up liking boxing. But ever since then, I have made sure to keep my hands up. And this is the full story of how I joined the boxing gym. But if you like this video, please comment if I should do like a part 2 that includes boxing stories. Please subscribe to support the channel, and also remember to please drink your coconut water.
My life be like